Let's begin the story. The Elves and the Shoemaker. Once, there was a kind shoemaker named Master Thomas. He worked very hard, but his shop was quiet, and his pockets were quite empty. He had only one small piece of shiny brown leather left. Oh dear, he sighed, just enough for one last pair of tiny shoes. Master Thomas carefully cut the last piece of leather. Snip, 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 into perfect shapes. He laid the pieces out neatly on his workbench. Tomorrow, he thought, I will sew these into the prettiest little shoes. He felt a little hopeful inside his heart as he went to bed. The very next morning, Master Thomas woke up feeling a little sleepy. He walked into his workshop, rubbing his eyes, and gasped. On the workbench, where he'd left the leather pieces, stood a pair of perfectly finished, shiny new shoes. Every stitch was neat and beautiful. Soon, a happy customer came into the shop. "Oh, what beautiful shoes!" she exclaimed, picking up the magical pair. She was so impressed by the perfect craftsmanship that she paid Master Thomas more than the usual price. His heart fluttered with surprise and happiness. With the extra money, Master Thomas bought enough leather for 2 more pairs of shoes. He cut 'em out that evening, just like before. And guess what? The next morning, 2 more beautiful pairs were finished. This magical help happened again and again, night after night. Soon, the little shoemaker's shop became very famous all over the land. Everyone wanted Master Thomas's wonderful, perfectly made shoes. His shelves were always full, and his pockets were full too. Master Thomas, who was once poor, became a very wealthy man. One snowy evening, as Christmas was getting very close, Master Thomas looked at his kind wife. "My dear," he said, "we must find out who is helping us. Who are these secret, wonderful friends making all these shoes?" His wife nodded, her eyes twinkling with curiosity. That night, instead of going to bed, Master Thomas and his wife quietly hid behind a soft, velvet curtain in the workshop. They peeked out, holding their breath. The room was dark and still, and they waited patiently, their hearts thumping with excitement and wonder.
How's that stitching
Just
coming
as
along?
the clock
Almost
chimed
done.
midnight,
The thread is holding
tiny
nicely.
footsteps
Perfect. Mine is ready
tiptoed
too.
into the room. 2 tiny, naked elves appeared, giggling softly. They hopped onto the workbench and began to work with incredible speed. Stitch, stitch, hammer, tap. Their tiny hands flew, making shoes. The shoemaker and his wife watched, amazed. The little elves worked so fast. Before they knew it, all the leather was sewn into sparkling, perfect shoes. Then, with a little twirl and a happy sigh, the tiny elves vanished as quickly as they had appeared. "Oh, those sweet little men," whispered the wife, her heart full of love. "They have made us rich with their kindness, but they must be so cold without any clothes in this chilly workshop." A wonderful idea sparked in her mind, making her smile brightly. "I know," she exclaimed. "I will sew them tiny shirts, warm coats, and snug trousers. And you, my dear husband, can make them the prettiest little shoes." Master Thomas's eyes lit up. What a truly wonderful way to show their big gratitude. On Christmas Eve, instead of pieces of leather, Master Thomas and his wife carefully placed the tiny, colorful outfits and miniature shoes on the workbench. They hid again, their hearts fluttering with happy anticipation, eager to see the elves' joyful surprise. At midnight, the two tiny elves arrived, ready to work. But when they saw the beautiful clothes, their eyes grew wide with amazement. They squealed with delight, quickly putting on their new coats, trousers, and tiny shoes. They looked so cozy and happy. The little elves danced on the table with glee, singing tiny happy songs. Then, with a joyful wave, they danced right out the door and were never seen again. Master Thomas and his wife lived a long, happy life, always remembering their kind, tiny friends and the magic of gratitude. Thanks for watching. The Elves and the Shoemaker.